So, what makes us become complacent, right? I think if we asked ourselves this question or asked other people this question, most people would want to um, want to discount it. I'm not complacent. I work hard. I want to achieve things, etc. But in reality, the fact is that a good deal of us are complacent, not necessarily because we want to be, but because we have allowed some certain things to happen in our lives. So let me give an example. If you had a glass of water and you poured some sand into it, all you have to do to allow the sand to settle at the water is nothing. If you pour the sand inside the water, it would automatically settle, right? It's only when you stir it up or look for some way of draining the water and retain the sand that you're able to separate the two. But if you don't do anything, the sand settles, right? And that is really how complacency starts or happens in our lives. Not because we want to be complacent, but we just start to settle. And why does this happen? More often than not, is because when we achieve a measure of success, we don't tend to be as hungry. And I think you find this phenomenon play out in different or diverse areas of life. Uh, the person starts out hungry, starts out with a goal, starts out with a passion, and then achieves at least quite a bit of it, right? Maybe, for example, he wants to escape poverty. His initial vision is to be a billionaire, but he becomes a millionaire and he's out of poverty and he's like, oh well, okay, this is nice. I don't necessarily have to work as hard. I've achieved millionaire status. I can begin to take things a bit easy, right? Now that thinking invites complacency because it's much harder for you to sustain success than for you to achieve a measure of success in the first place. Let me say that again. It is much harder for you to sustain success than it is to achieve a measure of success in the first place. When you first start out and you're really hungry, you don't have nothing, you have the impetus that drives you to achieve a particular goal. But when you hit that goal, sustaining it and scaling it becomes much harder because the initial hunger that drove you to achieve the goal that you did attain is no longer there. So it means that it is up to us to not motivate ourselves per se, but to discipline ourselves, right? Because motivation is really just 1% of success, right? If you ask a lot of successful people how they sustain success, not necessarily achieve it, how they sustain it is by being disciplined, right? Motivation, you can pep yourself up with words, you can inspire yourself, you can play some kick butt music to get you going. But if you're not disciplined, you won't be consistent, and consistency is the key to success, not just commitment. Commitment allows you to start, but consistency allows you to finish. And we're going to talk about that sometime later in the series, right? So, complacency makes you not want to push as hard as you did before. It makes you want to relax. It makes you want to pack a spot on the road of success, right? You've left the starting blocks, but you're not there yet, but you have gone somewhere, and you're like, I think I can take things a bit easy. I don't have to push myself. The minute you start to think that way, you start to become complacent, right? So avoiding the complacency mentality at all costs is really key if you're going to achieve sustainable success. And it's really important for you to understand this concept. It's not just success of a measure of success, but sustaining that success, which is much more difficult to do than to get out of the starting blocks in the first place. Complacency is a killer. It would make you relax. It will make you want to have some form of security and peace, right? But there's a difference between peace and complacency. Peace is your ability to be calm and relaxed in any given situation, particularly if that situation is turbulent. But complacency just makes you want to stay in one place and not just want to push yourself to achieve, right? They're two different things. So, at all costs, avoid complacency. Avoid resting on your R's. Avoid looking at your wall and seeing all the awards that you've raked up. Those things will make you complacent. You need to be able to discipline yourself to continue to achieve, because success is not a destination, it is a journey.